Welcome to the Empower Her Wellness Podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of the Empower Her Wellness Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Morgan Ekovich, and Merry Christmas Eve. It's Tuesday. Remember, these episodes are supposed to be released on Thursday, but honestly, we have Christmas on Thursday and next week is New Year's, and I don't want to release an episode on the holiday, so I'm releasing them a little early these upcoming weeks. So today is Tuesday, Christmas Eve, and I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, that you have some amazing, fun things planned. And if you are watching our podcast, you're going to see I brought my Christmas tree over from my living room. It's not a big Christmas tree, but it's big enough and it's super cute. I actually haven't put decorations on it this year I just kind of put some lights and I put a little angel charm at the top, and it's just that little bit of Christmas cheer. And as we're kind of talking about Christmas here and as we move in, I want to talk about two things today. So the two topics that we're going to touch on is what we can control and what we can't, and the importance of kind of knowing that and those reminders as we go into the holiday. And then the other thing I want to talk on is having a fit community and what that means, what that looks like, and why you should start thinking about that in 2026. So it's two different topics, but honestly, I wanted something that had a little bit of reminders. I didn't want to just give you more Christmas tips. Like, go back to the Thanksgiving episode and listen to those, because really what I gave you at Thanksgiving will work for all of the holidays. So if you are looking for tips and tricks and all of that, go back to our Thanksgiving episode, which you can find in the show notes. I've linked it there. But today, instead, I wanted to give you some reminders of what we can control and what we can't control as it starts getting closer and closer to Christmas, and that stress is rising. So take a deep breath. If you are holding your breath right now, or you're clenching your fists, or you're grinding your teeth, just take a deep breath. Relax everything. Everything that needs to get done will get done. If it doesn't get done, it really was not needed. So often we take on way too much this time of the year, whether that's buying a ton of gifts, saying we're going to host a bunch of things, hosting another party on top of Christmas. Maybe that's doing Christmas cards. Maybe that's making Christmas cookies and gingerbread houses. There are so many amazing traditions that happen during this time of the year, and I love it. But I notice that as the years go on, we tend to add more and more, and we don't always subtract. And we are sometimes doing things that we don't really love doing, and we're doing them because we've just been doing them for so many years. So if you are getting to that point and you're like, Morgan, my list is 1,000 pages long, there's no way I'm getting all this done. I hear you. I want you to prioritize what really matters on that list. Does having the Christmas lights up around your front door really matter? Or is it being inside making cookies with the kids? Is it making sure you have presents wrapped? Or is it making sure that every kid has 15 to 20 presents? Like, what of those things matter? And yes, they all matter to some extent, but there's some that matter more than others. And in this time of the year, when we are running into stress, when we're running into lack of time, it's important that you pick the ones that really mean something. And as we are thinking about the things that really mean something to us and slowing down when everything seems to be super high in stress, I want you to think about your control. So things that are in your control are things that you can do. You can order gifts. You can wrap gifts. You can make cookies. You can deliver cookies. You can get your workouts in. You can drink your water. You can choose what goes inside your body, whether that's food or alcohol or non-alcoholic beverages, whatever that is your choice. You have the control to choose. You can control who you are being around. You can control who you surround yourself with. Those are things that you have control of this holiday season. And when we feel like we are spiraling and that we're like out of control and we're maybe snapping at all of our family members because we're a little overwhelmed and we're pissed none of them are helping and we're having to ask them to do things a bunch of times and it's just easier for you to freaking do it. Yeah, I get it. Take that deep breath. Remember what you can control and what really matters to you. What matters to you and what matters to get done. It all does. What is the most important? Because it will never all get done. It won't. Unless you have like multiple personal assistants and the most hands-on family in the world where everybody's doing something all the time. But like we all have extracurriculars. We all have sports or work or whether you're feeding a food bank or you've adopted a kid for the holidays. Like there's so many extras that we do that we are just running out of time. So think about what can you control? What can you control these last couple days leading up to Christmas, but also as you go in to 2026? What are the things in your control that you are going to control? And then just briefly think about that and think about how many things in that process you can't control. Like I said, you can control buying gifts, but you cannot control if Amazon delivers them when they say they're going to. It is out of your control, and that causes a stressor. The way to move about that is to be more prepared, order them earlier rather than ordering last minute. But we're past that point. It's Christmas Eve. We're past that point. So like we have to let go that a gift may not get here. We have to let go that we may have the most terrible snowstorm in Michigan history tomorrow or Christmas Day, and we may not be able to go to where we want to go. We cannot control if all of a sudden we lose power or the oven stops working or the people that are coming to your holiday events. You may have a ton of people in your life that are coming, and then you may have some members that are coming that you're just like so about. You can't control them. You can't control what they say. All you can control is how you decide to interact with them. Are you going to be cordial? Are you going to be overly nice? Are you going to avoid them? That is in your control. You cannot control if they come or not, especially if you're not the host. So there's so many things that as we get closer and as that stress starts to rise, that we just can't. It's out of our hands. And time, it is dark. And we are running into a time factor, not just because it's getting dark out. So if you're trying to do stuff outside to bring the Christmas spirit, but you can't see the house because it's so dark out and you're trying to do lights on a snowy ladder in the ice, probably not the best decision. But think about those things that really matter to you. Have you taken on too much this past year? And this is not the time where all of a sudden you're like, well, Morgan said, nix all the things for Christmas. Like, no. What I'm saying is, how have you felt during this holiday season? Have you felt like you've had you've had a really good balance? You haven't felt super stressed. There's been times, but for the most part, you've been able to eat healthy, drink your water, get good sleep, make sure that you are getting your workouts in, whether it's walking or strength training. You've committed to those classes that you've signed up for. Like, have you been able to do that? And then also create that Christmas cheer. Have you been able to decorate like you wanted to? Or have you noticed that for the past couple weeks, you haven't done anything for your health? You can't remember the last time you hit your water goal. You can't remember the last time you had 2 servings of veggies, or you ate a breakfast, or the fact that, I keep telling myself I'll just work out at home because it's too damn cold out, but you don't. Like, yes, there's multiple layers to this, but a lot of times when those personal things for ourselves go to the wayside, it's when we've taken on too much. And after you get through this holiday, I want you to reflect on Saturday when you're sitting around the house Saturday, Sunday, or maybe you're running around to 12 more parties, who knows? I want you to take some time to reflect and say, was this a good year? Did I have a good balance for myself? Did I have a good balance of the holiday cheer and festivities that I wanted to? Did I feel like I wanted to do more, but I just ran out of time? Did we do a lot of stuff that really nobody enjoyed anymore? Like maybe we've outgrown. Because just because we have kids and we have traditions doesn't mean that they have to be the traditions for a lifetime. Traditions are meant to change and evolve. Like a couple years ago now, instead of my mom, my sister, and I all getting gifts for each other, we go do something. Last year we went to the Wheelhouse in Rio Town. We did pottery. This year, yesterday, we went to the local Epicurean and did a cooking class. Like something fun for us to do together that's just different than us sitting around at home having food, which like my sister doesn't live in the area anymore, which we can't do it all the time, but going and doing something is just a little bit more fun and special. It's a little bit more of a memory. And as you're over here wrapping gifts till 4 a.m. because you're like, I have to wrap all the gifts. I bought way too much stuff. Like, take a look at that. Do you have room for more stuff? If you listen to the Melanie Zell episode about organizing, like we tend to overconsume and we don't always have room for it. So maybe this year we reflect and we say, yeah, we did a lot of things. We did a lot of actual gifts this year, like physical things that we're giving them, like toys. Maybe next year we do just a little less and we go do an experience and we take that money and we go do something fun, whether it's local or you get on a plane, you go somewhere. Think about some of that and how you have control over that and how that may make you feel. Would it make you feel a little bit better? Would it make you feel that you can get your workout in if you don't have to shop and wrap so many presents? Yeah, it would. It gives you more time. So, just some things to think about as we move into Christmas Eve and Christmas. I don't want you to stop doing anything you're doing, but I just want you to remember to take a deep breath. You're doing amazing. And it's okay if you bit off more than you can chew this holiday season. Acknowledge it. Make note of it. Write yourself an email and then print it off and put it in your Christmas box so that next year when you open your Christmas box, you have that reminder of how you felt this year and how you don't want to feel again. Because that's the thing. Have you ever been to an event or you've been somewhere and if you didn't take the notes in the moment and you didn't take action right away, a whole year later, you completely forgot? Yeah, I know that feeling. So it's important that if there's things you're reflecting this holiday season, write it down, put it with your Christmas stuff or your Thanksgiving stuff or whatever holiday we're talking about, honestly, and put it with it. So when you open up that box of stuff, you have those reminders of, I was going to do less. I was not able to get any of my workouts in last Christmas, and I don't want that to be the case this year. I'm going to put myself as a priority. And that trickles down into every single person you interact with. And that's kind of a good transition there because one of the things that I want you to have in 2026 that if you do not have already in your life, it's a gift that I want you to be able to find for yourself is I want you to be able to find a fit community. And a fit community can be broad. It can be interpreted in a multitude of ways. So I'm going to interpret it how I see it and how my clients understand it when we kind of talk about it and how they share about it. But a fit community is essentially a group of individuals, whether they're all females, males and females, whether they're family members, friends, strangers, doesn't matter. They're a group of individuals all working towards the same general goal/outcome. When I say fit community, it's not just fitness, but it's people who are looking to improve their physical, mental, and emotional life and nutritional life while supporting others along the way and knowing they are not alone in that journey. So this can look a ton of different ways. And I'm going to give you some examples of what this can look like and how you can find this, where you may even sought out, where you can kind of search out some of these places. But before I do, I'm going to share some of the benefits and why it matters to have these. And maybe it's just a fit friend. Maybe it's not a whole community, but maybe you just have that one fit friend that you love because they're not the friend who is always like, let's go eat and drink. Like, hey, do you want to go try pickleball? Do you want to go walk? Do you want to go do something active? It's always great to have those friends in our lives. Not that the other friends aren't good, but having a variety of friends, and sometimes it's just one person. Sometimes it's a whole community. It just depends on where you are and what you're looking for. But so why it matters, it makes you feel like you're not in this journey alone. So often our health and wellness feels like this journey we are on just freaking by ourselves. We're making meals, we're cooking at home, we're drinking our water, we're moving our body. Yes, we see people, yes, we hear people, but like there's not always real connection. We have a bad day, we step on the scale's higher, we say screw it. Like we feel like we're in this journey alone. And like that's not the case. If I were to run a poll and say how many people feel like they are doing it alone, I would guarantee it'd be 75%. If I interviewed 100 people, 75 of them would say I feel like I'm doing it alone most of the time, because we don't talk about it. We don't have that person or that community or that group that we can go to and we can feel comfortable having some of these conversations and sharing. So the other part is built-in accountability. So if you've ever been to a class or been part of a gym or honestly ever worked with me in any capacity, whether it was a free challenge in our Facebook group, I remember you. When you show up and you are part of something, people will remember you. There's built-in accountability. Us as coaches and trainers and instructors, we know when people are missing. We wonder what is happening. We wonder where you've been. We may not always reach out because there's so much going on, but we are thinking about you. And there are other people in the room doing the exact same thing. Hey, I really haven't seen Jeff in a while. Like, I wonder where he's at. I wonder if he's doing okay. I knew they had this happening. Like, okay, I need to reach out. And yes, the whole actually follow up is a different stage, but knowing that there's somebody wondering where you are is such a great feeling. It reminds you of like, they're going to wonder, I'm probably going to get a text. Like, show the fuck up. Go and do the thing you said you're going to do. It's built-in accountability. It also is going to increase your consistency. If you know people are going to be waiting for you and wanting to interact with you and are wondering what's going on, you are going to consistently show up. It's also very motivating because if you see the people next to you making progress, you're going to want to make progress. You're going to keep showing up. It's going to reduce the overwhelm when it comes to asking for help. So when we have a community or a person or a group, whatever term you want to put on it, and we want to ask questions about our health and wellness, but we just don't feel like we have a safe space, that right there can be really intimidating and it can be overwhelming. But if we have those groups, then we feel safe. We feel like we can exhale and we can put our guard down a little bit and we can ask that question that we think is super stupid. In reality, it's not. Honestly, there's so much noise out there in the health industry. There's no stupid health question, like none at all. Because as soon as you learn one thing, you learn the complete opposite according to some person on the internet. So I understand how confusing and overwhelming it can be, but having a group of individuals that you can go to and say, hey, I saw this. Do you think this is real? Do you think this is fake? What do you think? Like having people that you can ask and trust is super amazing. And then it's not the last, but this is some of the other reasons why it matters is it strengthens our mental health, our movement, community, and honestly, it's one of the most powerful wellness combinations that we are missing. So you may be crushing the nutrition, you may be crushing all of the individual actions, but if you don't have a friend, a coach, a group of people that you can relate to, you may be super successful right now, but at some point a low is going to happen. It's inevitable. It is 100% inevitable. I've been doing this for I don't know how many years now. I can't think of that off the top of my head. But I've seen the highest of highs and I've seen the lowest of lows. And I have seen people who have been on the highs for years all of a sudden hit a low. And when we feel like we're doing good, sometimes we isolate. Just like when we're doing bad, we isolate. So the more we can have that community for those goods and those bads, for those highs and those lows, and all the things in between, the easier it's going to be to stay committed to ourselves and to know that, like, yeah, we all have highs and lows, and it is hard at times. So that's why we need it. And like I said, it's going to look different for every single one of us. I have different buckets of community. I have a fit community. I have a business community. Like we have different levels of community, and sometimes they're groups, sometimes community. I don't know why. Sometimes the word's like super great in my mind, and sometimes it's like, I don't know. That's not what it feels like, but I have this group of people. I have this group of badass people in my life that I love, that we're all reaching and supporting each other along the way. And that's really what it is it may not be a fit community, but it's a group of individuals in your life that are going through and focusing on a similar goal as you, and you guys all want to better yourselves. So having those people around in whatever capacity that looks like is a game changer. So I'm going to give you some examples of what this can look like. I kind of touched on some of them earlier, but one of them is joining our Get Fit With Me inner circle. That is working with me in a one-on-one or by coming to group classes, things like that. So we have the Get Fit With Me inner circle, which is a deeper dive into accountability and support and having that sense of community with other women locally and all across the United States. And then we have our For Busy Moms free community. That's a great spot to start if you're just looking for somewhere to post. Don't be intimidated. There's 500 people in the group, but at the same time, so many of us don't see each other's things on Facebook that portion, like only a few people may see it, and it's the people who are looking for it who also want that community. So those are two really safe spaces that you can join and be a part of. And know that you're going to have myself, a trusted coach, answer your questions, guide you in the right direction. But then you're also going to have other women who are going through the same thing as you, who are in that group for the same exact reason, to better their physical, mental, nutritional bodies in whatever way that looks like, and to have support along the way. Some other ways is I teach a strength training boot camp on Wednesday nights. And for those of you who are local, that's a really great way. It's all women. We've got online and in person. And it's super fun. I've had somebody recently, she had an injury, but she's like, I can't do lower body, but can I still come and do upper body? I'm like, yes, absolutely. She said, I just love the energy in the room and I just want to continue to be a part of it. Like that right there is what I am building. I'm building that for you. I'm building that for you listening right now. I know how important it is to have friends and people in your circle and on your sideline. I'm not fighting against anyone else. I'm not competing against anyone else. I want people in my circle, and I'm building that for you guys, whether it's that in person or it's that online platform. We've got both options. Other things that work for other clients, which has worked for me in the past, is finding your one friend, because we all should have at least one friend. And if we don't, you will find them. If you start going to a gym or you step out of your comfort zone. And for some of us, that right there makes us want to curl up into a ball and hide away from the world. And if that is the case, you absolutely need to do it. You need to step out of your comfort zone, reach out to me, reach out to a friend who maybe is already going to, whether it's a run group. Playmakers here in Lansing does a run group. I don't know all the details, but if you're a runner and you're looking for a group of individuals, one of the ladies who comes to the strength training boot camp, she's part of it. I have another client who's thinking about joining it. So that's an idea. I'm also part of like an East Lansing Facebook group and a Rio Town Facebook run group. I don't run, but like I like the idea because maybe one day I'm going to be in the mood to run and I want to be able to go and run with other people. And some other things is just joining a gym. You will find it's uncomfortable. We all look like we got resting bitch face and like we're not happy to be at the gym. It's very few of us that like smile our way through. I may be one of those. It just kind of depends on the day. But knowing that like it's intimidating to go into a gym, but when you go in, you start seeing the same people over and over, you eventually say hi. Then you eventually have a conversation. And then you say, hey, when do you typically work out? And then you kind of work up schedules at the same time, not because you're trying to cling on to them, but you guys have a connection. And it's fun to go when you're going to go see a friend who's working out, who's working towards the same goals. So in 2026, we're going to do a few more different workshops and events here in person and online. I want to do a huge cooking class virtually for all you guys in your kitchens and being able to do some like fun and easy meals. So we've got some fun stuff, and that right there is a great way to come. I want to connect you guys with each other. I want to make sure that you have resources for you to come learn, but then you can follow up with each other and say, hey, what'd you make? What'd you do this? And I help facilitate all of it so you don't have to. It's kind of like when you go into kindergarten and you walk in and your parents are like, okay, I'm going to sit you next to so-and-so and she's going to be your friend. Like, sometimes we need a little help and support and guidance, and that's okay. So we talked about a lot today. We talked about Christmas, what we can control, what we can't, reflecting. We talked about our fit community, finding what works for us, the importance of finding it. And really, what I want you to take away from today is the holidays are always going to have some level of stress, but you get to control the amount of stress that's involved. And I want you, as your Christmas gift for 2026, to make sure you've got a fit community or a fit group or whatever term you want to use. I want you to have something for yourself as we move into the new year. So if you are interested in finding that for yourself and would you like some help, please just send me an email at morgan@getfitwithme-morganekovich.com. Send me an email. Let me know you're looking for your fit community. Let's talk. Let me see if I can find you some resources, or maybe one of the ones I'm already creating is a good fit for you. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas Eve today, a Christmas Eve tomorrow, and then a very Merry Christmas on Thursday. And remember, next week, because next Thursday is also a holiday, our final episode of 2025 will be released on Tuesday, New Year's Eve. So I will talk to you all next week. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for tuning in to the Empower Her Wellness podcast. I hope you found today's episode inspiring and packed with actionable tips. Remember, your journey to becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself is just beginning. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and join our community of empowered women. Until next time, stay strong and stay confident.